Morning.
Morning, everybody. I'll kick things off. First, big thanks to Tim and Anna for putting on such a wonderful show. A great location, great topic. And then Crystal for making some time to come be with us and all of the things that she was saying. And I know they were all really good because my good friend Amy Fadita's hand is cramped at this point because she was writing everything down. And so Tony and I love getting together. We've quickly found that we've got some similarities in life. One is soccer, so we get to connect. I hear about Tony's coaching his grandson now. It's awesome. Just so you all are clear, I was a defender, Tony was an attacker. That crazy guy you see sliding to the flag after he scores, that's Tony.
I stopped taking my shirt off after the goals, however, at a very early age. But you mentioned Amy and taking the good notes. Amy's the kind of person that when the teacher used to walk in at class and she'd say, "Good morning, class," Amy would look and say, "Good morning, class." So anyway, but good note taking is good. As a sort of a logistical item, I noticed, I think I broke down the code for this location. So you look at the outside and W is for the W Hotel. Then you get inside and you go to the elevator, and R, Dave pointed out to me, was for roof. And then I had to go to the men's room and there was an M there. So I think I figured it out. We're going to be that succinct, and EIS equals SD-WAN, and we'll get to that. Yeah. Now I don't know what they did for the women's room because I didn't check that out, but
it's probably a good thing. So a little bit, Tony and I are up there. You guys have seen enough about us. We want to talk about a couple different things. The first is transformation, and I think that's what we're all here to talk about and understand today. And when we look at transformation, it isn't something that is can be just prescribed and occur in a very linear fashion. It's different for every agency. It's different for everything that we're trying to accomplish, whether that's in the cyber realm or that's in the networking realm or cloud or wherever it might be. So we see transformation begin to occur across agencies in a variety of different ways.
Tim mentioned I've been in this business for about 30 years. I started out working on the FTS network. Now, that's the Reagan administration part of the FTS network, not the Kennedy administration part of the FTS network, which I think some of you were thinking was possible. But I've been through this. This is now the 5th time I've been around this block. And every time, FTS, FTS 2000, FTS 2001, networks, now EIS. GSA just gets it better every time. And these are transformational opportunities, to say the least. And the agencies that I've observed over all these years that take on early transformation, that don't rely on the like for like. Let me dust off that RFP I used 10 years ago and do it again this time for the fair opportunity. Doesn't work. Technology, what technology lasts the same, exactly the same as 10 years ago? And that's certainly true of networks.
Yep. And so we go to modernization then, right? And we start looking up at the left-hand corner of this, and maybe that was the Kennedy.
Yeah, that might have been.
But when we get to the bottom right corner of it, my kids say, why do they call it a phone? Because the one child doesn't use it at all for any minutes. If you call him, he texts you back. Right? And so it's a total different world of what we've seen with modernization occur. And that's occurring across all of the agencies, again, in a variety of different ways. And so when we look at SD-WAN in particular, it's really a modernization occurrence of what's happening in the networked world. And we're glad to be part of it together.
Exactly. And this partnership that we formed with Dave, and when his organization was level 3 and through the transformation and merger with CenturyLink, it's exciting for us to be part of this because we do things at Hughes a little differently. We connect the dots a little differently than how the agencies have been doing it for years. And we've seen great transformation and modernization. On the commercial side, we're extraordinarily excited to bring this solution to the government side through this contract and in partnership with a great company like CenturyLink.
Yeah, great partnership. So the funny thing, not everybody can see that we're on a timer up here. And Crystal must have given us like 5 extra minutes.
She did.
Right? And I got up here and I panicked. I'm like, they gave Tony and I 5 minutes. And then it turned over, and I'm like, well, we got another 15.
Yeah, we're going to leverage this for all we got.
Thanks, Crystal. So modernization leads to, both transformation and modernization lead to GSA. I couldn't agree with more with a host of Crystal's comments that she was making about what this contract can be. I think we added up 92 different contract holders. That's a remarkable amount of companies that GSA has to have relations with and work through all of them. I think that we counted up almost 15 programs too. And so you've got multiple ways to buy the same thing. Who cares how many contract holders there are? If you have multiple ways that you're delivering services, it just gets to be such a challenging environment. So GSA really, I think, hit it out of the park with EIS. What their vision was to pull all of those contracts together, all those services together, look at what was, look at what was coming, open the door. The comments about SOWs versus statement of objectives, that's exactly where industry wants to see the agencies moving, because then that opens up the door to allow innovation to occur. And so I think GSA, again, has really put a really good vision together about what this contract can be for the agencies and all the technologies that exist within the framework.
Yeah, during the Reagan administration, there was one vendor for FTS. And then FTS 2000 doubled that. It was extraordinary transformation right there. Doubled that to 2 vendors. And that continued with FTS 2001. And now you've got 9 companies. GSA's created a market here for the agencies, and an abundance of competition, an abundance of variety, and no longer is the power concentrated on a couple of incumbents. The agencies have choices to make by service, by locations, by area of the country and of the world, and I think that, again, to put it in Dave's terms, have hit it out at the park, because where have agencies ever had this kind of choice and ability to create value? And one of the things you're seeing about these modern networks is the ability to just really, really save money and really, really gain bandwidth. Because one of the things we're seeing is that none of these agencies are going to you network managers out there and saying, hey, guess what? I don't need the bandwidth you're giving me. Let me give you some of it back. How many people have heard that? 0? Okay. I wasn't going to give you much time to think about that, because the fact of the matter is that everybody is asking for more bandwidth. And what's happening with budgets? Are they going up to give people the bandwidth they need? I've asked that of network managers, and they go, of course not. I'm not getting more money to give them everything they're asking for. So the old model's just not going to work. The old model of the dedicated pipe everywhere to every location just isn't going to fly anymore in light of today's realities.
Great. So I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule, but I think got a great kickoff, a topic that everybody's really interested in understanding. Great question about what's the schedule. I think that's something we've been really interested in, and maybe I used the wrong term, Tony. After the warm-up this morning was soccer, I used the baseball. So maybe GSA really put it in the back of the net.
They put it in the back of the net, and it's time for you to come out from the back and let's go attack.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Appreciate everything so far this morning. Yep.